There was a big dense forest. A dwarf lived in that forest, but none had ever seen him. There was a village near that forest. A miller lived in the village. Though he was a kind hearted person, but he had a bad habit. He was very talkative and mouthy. He used to make up false stories and tell people. Villagers were very irritated by this, but they kept quiet looking at his daughter. Because his daughter, Giselle, was very intelligent and beautiful. One day, the general of the kingdom was passing by the village.
I'm very thirsty. Go, bring me some water.
Yes, General. Giselle, child, bring some water. Are you going to meet the king?
Yes,
My daughter is very talented. And my daughter can spin the fodder through the wheel and turn it into gold.
what did you say? Fodder into gold? What nonsense.
I'm speaking the truth. Please tell this to the king.
General leaves from there and comes to the king. He tells the king about the miller and his daughter.
Looks like this miller is telling too many lies. It's time to teach him a lesson.
King orders them both to come to the palace.
You are really very beautiful, Giselle. But your father has told us about your talent. If you are unable to prove it, then your father will be hanged tomorrow morning.
Which talent are you talking about, my king? King takes Giselle into a chamber in the basement. Giselle saw that the room was full of fodder.
Your father has said that you can change fodder into gold by spinning it. If you don't change all this fodder into gold by morning, you know what will happen to your father. We will meet tomorrow morning.
Father, what have you done? Such a big lie. What should I do now? How will I save you? Who are you?
Don't be afraid. I'm not as bad as I look. I also have some good qualities. I can help you. I can spin the fodder and turn it into gold.
Really? Oh, my father's life can be saved. Oh, my dear dwarf, please help me out.
What's the hurry? Like I said, I'm just a little good, not very good. I will help you, but you will have to give me something in return.
What can I give you? Yes, my necklace. You can take it. Here it is.
Oh wow, it is a beautiful necklace. Okay, now you don't worry. I will get your work done.
Giselle sees that this chamber is also filled with fodder. Now King demands that fodder to be changed into gold as well. He locks her in that chamber and leaves. This king is greedy. What should I do now? Suddenly, the dwarf appears again and is willing to help her.
I can help, but you will have to give me something.
Huh? Giselle takes out a ring from her finger and gives it to him. The dwarf sits at the wheel to spin the fodder again. Next day, when the king comes there, he sees that this chamber is filled with gold as well.
You are really an amazing girl. Come with me.
The king takes her to the third chamber in the basement.
Giselle, your talent is very useful. If you turn the fodder in this room into gold as well, I will make you my queen. I promise this to you.
Giselle sits alone in the chamber, thinking again. I hope the dwarf comes again to help me.
You called me and here I am. Tell me, Giselle, what will you give to me this time?
I have nothing to give you now.
Then I cannot help you at all. I am leaving.
Please don't do this. If you help me this time, the king will make me his queen. Then I can give you whatever you want.
Marriage with king? Okay, then you have to promise me something. After marrying the king, you will give me the first boy born to you.
Okay, whatever you want. Please help me out now.
That's great.
Next day, the king is happy after seeing the chamber filled with gold. As per his promise, he marries Giselle. So now, Giselle becomes the queen of the kingdom. 1 year passes by. Giselle then gives birth to a pretty baby boy.
Have you forgotten your promise, Giselle? Only I can get this child of yours. Come, give this child to me. I have come to take him.
Huh? No, don't do this. How can a mother give her child away to someone? Please have some mercy on me. I can give you a lot of gold in place of my child.
I don't need gold. I only want this child of a human. You can't break your promise.
Listen, my dear dwarf, you told me you had some good in you. For that goodness sake, please don't take my child away from me.
Some goodness. Okay, we can do one thing. People call me dwarf, but no one knows my real name.
Huh?
If you can tell me my real name, then I will go away from here forever. Tell me, do you agree?
Huh? Your real name? Is it Robin or Jimmy?
Try some more.
Alfred?
No.
Alger? Elvin?
No.
Adley? Bobby? Bolden?
No.
Bolden?
No.
Blackley?
No.
Christopher? Connor?
It's not.
Carter?
No.
Colin? Or you are Melvin? Kevin?
No, never. None of this is my name. Okay, I will give you the whole day. But if you are not able to tell me my real name by tomorrow morning, then I will definitely take this boy with me.
What should I do, my dear? How can I save you from this dwarf monster? Let's run far away from this palace so that the monster is not able to find us. Giselle takes the baby with her and silently comes out of the palace. She keeps walking till night. She goes into the dense forest. She suddenly sees something. Oh, this is the same dwarf. What is he doing here? Giselle hides herself behind a tree.
No one knows my name. Whatever may be your game, it's difficult to remember. Try as hard as you can. I am Rumpelstiltskin. I am Rumpelstiltskin. I am Rumpelstiltskin.
Giselle becomes happy and returns to the palace. Next day, the dwarf appears in front of Giselle again.
Speak, Giselle. Can you tell me my name?
Is your name William?
No.
Then your name must be Robert.
You have lost, Giselle. Give me the baby now.
Wait a little, my dear dwarf. Let me guess it once more. Something difficult, something weird, something very long and something... Is your name Rumpelstiltskin?
How is this possible? How did you know my name?
Good. So this is your name. You have a very crazy and unique name. Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin. The poor dwarf gets upset from himself. He disappears from there and never returns.
A couple, Robert and Sophia, lived in a village called Salem. Both of them worked in the farm. They worked very hard. They had a son, Sam. Sam was very intelligent and promising. He stood first in studies. He wanted to go abroad for higher studies. Daddy, I want to go abroad for higher studies.
Son,
And started his job as a clerk. He drew a handsome salary. He started keeping some money aside. One day there came a marriage proposal for Sam. Robert and Sophia agreed to the proposal without asking Sam. The girl was very beautiful. Mom, I don't want to marry now. I want to study.
Son, you can study your whole life. But if the age of marriage passes, it will never come back.
After a few days, the ceremony of meeting the girl was fixed. The entire family went to their house for this ritual. At that time, his would-be wife Rosemary entered the room with tea and snacks. Sam could not keep his eyes off her. Both of them liked each other and their marriage was fixed after their consent. After a few days, they got married and Rosemary came to stay with Sam in his house. One fine day.
Whose books are these? So costly and good ones.
These are my books, Rosemary.
Really? But you are doing a good job right now. Then is this just to read or to appear in some exams?
Hearing this, Sam gets sad.
Hey, what happened? I talked about studies and you became sad. What happened?
Nothing, Rosemary. Let it be.
Please tell me what's the matter. Now I am your wife. Why do you need to hide from me?
Rosemary, I wanted to go abroad for higher studies but could not go because of lack of money. That is the reason why I didn't want to get married. But when I saw you, I liked you. And obeying my parents, I married you.
Hey, you want to study further? This is great. You do not worry about me. And do your studies. I will never be a hurdle in your studies. And as far as home is concerned, I am here to take care. You relax and complete your studies.
Hearing this, Sam was overwhelmed.
Mom, Dad, he wants to study further. And I also want him to do so. Do you give your consent for this?
Daughter-in-law, you have expressed such a good idea. How can we say no to that? Sam studies for few days and appears in an entrance exam. He gets selected and he's very happy now. He started preparing to go abroad for higher studies. Rosemary also helped him. Sam goes abroad taking the flight next day. Rosemary started living with her parents-in-law. She started taking care of them and simultaneously started a business of her own. She started making different type of attires and sold them in the market. Slowly she brought in a few needy women with her and she started expanding her business. And Sam was also working very hard in his studies. Few years passed. Now, Rosemary became a good businesswoman and there Sam also became a highly educated man. He got a job in foreign. He called home to give everyone this news. Hello, Mom. I got a good job here in foreign. I'm drawing a handsome salary here. Hearing this, Rosemary becomes sad and she starts thinking.
Hey, Rosemary, what happened? What are you thinking?
Mom, I was thinking that I have started such a big business and we did not tell him because we wanted to surprise him. If he takes me to foreign with him, what will happen to my business? What shall I do, Mom? I don't understand.
After a few months, Sam receives an invitation for an award ceremony in India. It was a ceremony where successful people were being given awards. Rosemary was also invited there.
Dad, Mom, I've been invited in a ceremony. They have called to honor me.
Really, daughter-in-law? This is a proud moment for us.
Daughter-in-law, all three of us will go to attend your ceremony. Now Rosemary gets ready and takes her parents-in-laws to the ceremony. Sam was already there before they arrived. Ceremony was huge and there were many people over there. So most of the people could not see each other.
The youth of our nation, who is highly educated. I invite Mr. Sam on stage for this award.
Hearing Sam's name, Rosemary was surprised. His parents were delighted that their son had come back to India and is also being awarded. Rosemary had tears in her eyes. Everyone welcomed him with applause. Sam was honored with the award. Sam went back and sat in his place. Right then, Rosemary's name was announced.
I would like to invite a young woman of this nation who helps people in need and taking these people along. She's a successful businesswoman, Miss Rosemary.
Sam is surprised to see his wife. Rosemary enters the stage and accepting the award, she says,
I am the most fortunate businesswoman in the world today who received two good news in the same day. One is my award and the other is my husband's award. I owe this to my parents-in-law who has always helped me. Thank you.
Saying this, Rosemary steps down of the stage. Sam comes and stands in front of her and says, Rosemary, you are here and you received the award as well. You did not tell me that you are running a business.
Hey, if I told you this, I would never have been able to surprise you like this.
I am very happy for you, Rosemary.
I'm also very happy for you because you achieved the goal you wish for.
Rosemary and Sam go to their parents. They touch their feet and attain blessings.
Today, my both children have made me feel proud. I'm very, very happy today.
Son, daughter-in-law, keep doing your work successfully and stay happy always. Come, let's go home.
Robert and Sophia call a servant and ask him to bring the car. Seeing Rosemary's car, Sam is surprised and becomes happy on her success. Everybody comes home by the car. As soon as they reach home, Sam sees that there is a big mansion in place of their old house. Mom, is this our house?
Yes, son. This is our house.
Mom, I will not do a job in foreign country. I will come back home. Hearing this, Rosemary and her family became very happy. And so, their family started living happily.
Once upon a time, in a village called Greenwich, a greedy landlord lives in. Landlord gives his land for cultivation to the farmers by applying strange conditions. David, who is a poor person, lives in the same village. The landlord gives David his land every year on contract, saying that 50% share is for landlord and 50% share for David. After cultivation, landlord takes good crop and gives bad crop to David. Due to this, David is leading a very difficult time. One day, David's son, named called Peter, returns home in holidays from city. After seeing his father's situation and listening to landlord's antics, Peter decided to do farming from that day. Dad, you don't worry at all. I will take care of cultivation from today. Peter said these words to his father and went to meet landlord. Come, Peter. Where is your father? My father is unwell. From today, I will only take care for all the cultivation chores. So let me know the condition for this year. I made his father fool till now. From today, I will play with him. Okay, then Peter, from today, whatever you harvest, the upper part of the crop belongs to me and the lower part is yours. Okay, landlord. By saying these words, Peter leaves his house. The seeds are planted by Peter, and he takes care of farm very carefully. Crop is very good grown, and after 3 months, landlord visits Peter at farm to take his share. Come, landlord. The grass which is grown up is yours. This time I have cultivated groundnuts, so lower part is mine. You can take your part, landlord. Landlord gets angry by seeing this. So landlord starts thinking that this child is making me a fool. Okay, this time I should teach him a lesson. With this thought in mind, landlord leaves that place. After few days, landlord asks Peter to visit him.
Hey Peter, landlord asked you to visit him.
Okay, you go. I'll come after some time. After some time, Peter visits landlord. How are you, Peter? Don't you want to do cultivation? I wanted to do cultivation, landlord. I was about to come and meet you. Child, this time the condition is a bit different. The upper part belongs to you and lower part of crop is mine. Peter said yes and left the place. He went to cultivate the land. And after 3 months, landlord visited Peter for his share. Come, landlord. This time I have cultivated wheat. As per the condition, you take the lower part towards land, and I am taking the upper part. By seeing this, landlord becomes angry and says to Peter, You feel yourself as an intelligent person? Now I will give you my land to you for cultivation, and condition is upper and lower parts are mine. The middle part is yours. Are you okay with the condition? Okay, I agrees with your condition. But this time even I have a condition, landlord. If you will lose this time, you promise me that you will give poor farmers share equally and you behaves good with them. Okay, I agree. After 4 months, landlord visits Peter's land and shocks by seeing sugar cane in the farm. Now,
you can take the upper and lower parts of crop as per your condition.
Yes, child. Please excuse me. I have realized my mistake. From now, I will not cheat anyone.
A man named Michael lived in a village. He had a big dairy shop. He used to provide milk, curd, and other dairy products in his shop.
Hey, what is this? Where did so many flies come today? Hey! Oh shit. Let me throw this before anyone sees.
Michael was a miser. Uncle Michael, please give me 2 kg butter.
Sure, son, I will give you right away.
Hey, what is this? Uncle Michael, there is a fly in it.
What? A fly? Show me.
The boy shows Michael the box of butter.
Wait, son. I will give you another box of butter.
Michael takes out the fly from the box and hands over the same box to the boy.
Take this, son. Is it okay now?
Yes, Uncle Michael. Thank you. I will leave now. At that time, there arrived 2 sepoys from the palace.
Listen, Michael. 40 kg butter should be delivered by noon in the palace.
Yeah, sure. But such a high quantity of butter? Is there a party in palace today?
Yes, today the king has thrown a party for the ministers.
Okay. Don't worry. You will get the butter on time.
Sepoys leave, and Michael starts preparing butter.
Listen, Simon. We have to deliver 40 kg of butter to the palace by afternoon. Let's start working quickly. But master, we don't have enough milk to prepare 40 kg of butter. Do one thing. Add half quantity water to the milk we have. That will do the work. But master, that will not be right. If the king finds this out, then he will punish us. You do your work quietly or get lost. Oh, okay, master.
Simon adds water to the milk, but even then, the quantity is not enough. Simon goes to his master to inform him.
Master, I added water to the milk, but even then, preparing 40 kg of butter is not possible. What shall we do now? Okay. You go out there and look after the shop. I will take care of this. Okay, master. I should add vegetable oil to this.
Michael takes the case of vegetable oil and adds the butter, and that fills the case of butter fully.
Wow, my work is done. Now I have to deliver this to the palace quickly.
Michael takes the case of butter to the palace and returns home after delivering that. All the ministers arrive at the party. The party was wonderful. The king welcomes the ministers wholeheartedly. All the ministers eat a lot of food. After the dinner, ministers meet the king and go back to their homes. The king offers each minister a box of sweet as return gift.
Wow, the aroma of the sweets is so good. I will also taste the sweets.
The king tasted the sweet happily. The ministers also enjoyed the sweets just like the king. After eating the sweets, the king falls sick.
Your Highness, the ministers have also fallen sick like you. What? How's this possible? Seems like something was wrong with the sweets. Go and call the chef.
Yes, Your Highness.
You fool! What kind of sweet did you make? Everyone has fallen sick after eating your sweets.
Your Highness, I prepared it very carefully. I have no idea what happened. Your Highness, I think all this happened because of Michael's butter.
Are you sure that all have fallen sick because of that butter?
Yes, Your Highness, because I could smell vegetable oil in that butter.
This means Michael cheats everyone with adulteration. General, send 2 sepoys to Michael's house to keep an eye on him. Yes, Your Highness.
Sepoys arrive at Michael's house and sneak up. the Michael was adding vegetable oil to the butter.
Oh, what's this? Michael is putting everyone in trouble by adulteration. Yes, we should catch him red-handed and take him to the king.
Yes, come quickly.
Sepoys enter Michael's house and catch him red-handed.
You adulterate butter? Now you will have to answer the king. No, please forgive me.
Come, now you will explain things to the king.
Sepoys bring Michael to the palace.
Your Highness, we caught Michael red-handed, adulterating butter.
Does this mean that you fool everyone? Please forgive me, Your Highness. I made a mistake. I will never do this. General, take him and throw in jail. No, Your Highness, please forgive me. I will never do this.
The king does not listen to Michael and the general throws him in jail.
He will never learn.
Yes, father.
Come, dear, I have to tell you something very important.
Sure, tell me, father.
I have grown old, tried to civilize him, but I could not improve him. I feel that some lazy ghost has possessed him. Daughter, I give you the responsibility to drive away that lazy ghost.
This was Thomas's last wish. Since then, Mia started working on improving David. At first, she thought that if she would help her husband in the fields, then David might also feel like working hard. So she started going to the field with her husband. Early in the morning, both of them would start working together. But David would soon feel lazy and he would sleep in the shadow of a tree. And poor Mia would work all alone. Then Mia started thinking,
No, this trick is not working. I will have to find another way.
At the same time, an announcement was made in the village.
Government is going to distribute free seeds tomorrow morning at 9 at the government office. Anyone who wants can come to the office and take free seeds.
After listening to this, Mia went to her husband.
Please go to the government office tomorrow morning.
But why?
Because the government is giving free seeds.
Free? Knowing that it's free, David's eyes had a different glow, which Mia noticed.
Oh yes, free of cost.
Next day, David was standing first in the queue at the government office. David come home with the seeds.
Mia!
You brought the seeds?
Yes, see, and it's free.
Mia started listening to David very carefully, and then she got an idea. Next day, Mia came to David.
Government has made more announcement.
Are they giving free seeds again?
No, they will give bulls.
What? Bulls? That is good. This will decrease my workload to almost half. Tell me, where do I have to go?
But this is not that easy.
Why?
Government has announced that anyone who grows 1 ton of grain in the next 3 months will get the bulls.
1 ton? What's the big deal? Our field is so big that we can grow 5 tons of grain.
But who will do the hard work? You don't like to work, right?
But we will get 2 bulls. And then we don't need to work thereafter.
Since that day, David started working hard in the fields every day. He used to plow throughout the day and water the fields. After 1 month, the seedlings sprouted. And slowly the fields began to sway. David continued his hard work. After 3 months, David started harvesting them. After a few days, his field had big stalks of grain.
Look, Mia, this must be more than 1 ton, right?
Yes, much more.
Now tell me, where do I have to go?
Nowhere. The buyers will come here themselves.
Next day, a merchant came and gave 1 lakh rupees in cash to Mia. Mia was very happy seeing the money. She went to the market straight away and bought 2 bulls and came home with the bulls.
Listen, dear.
Wow! Such strong bulls, and that too free?
Not for free. You have earned them.
What?
Yes, I lied to you. But because of that, you worked so hard and grew 3 tons of grains. I got 1 lakh rupees for 3 tons of grain. And out of that only, I bought 2 bullocks for 10,000.
1 lakh rupees?
Yes, and here is remaining 90,000.
David couldn't believe his eyes. He had never seen so much money before. From the next day, David started farming with his bulls. He had turned from a lazy person to a hard-working person because he had understood that by working hard, he can achieve whatever he wants.
Did you see, Father? I fulfilled your last wish by kicking out the lazy ghost.